A common response I hear is, well, that's nice and all, but if we try what you say, we'll just wipe. Well, sure, possibly, but you won't wipe for that long. People will adjust to the new pace of raiding. Once you have your raid's confidence, the best way to understand what rate of pulling is best is actually to wipe, and then scale back a bit. You won't know your limits until you actually break them. After some time raiding this way, your raiders will become accustomed to moving more quickly and will take less prodding and nagging from you. You can't ever let your guard down. If you're slow that night, well, the raid will be too. But it takes less of a push to get things rolling when people's expectations are changed about what the pace of a raid will be. Remember though, fun doesn't mean ignore errors. An important part of being a raid leader is addressing mistakes. You don't need to rant and rage over every slight error someone makes, but similarly, you shouldn't ignore repeated errors or repeatedly careless play. If you're either a main tank or a raid leader, you can start doing this right now with your next raid. Your guild is capable of it as long as you're willing to put in the effort. And this doesn't take the fun out of raiding. It means people spend less time on the icky stuff like trash and more time grabbing purples and chatting with their friends. Remember, it's not about being a dictator on vent and yelling at people. It's just about keeping the raid cheerful, focused, and always moving. To review, it's okay to wipe a bit while changing how you raid, and sometimes that's the best way to understand what your current limits are. This all gets easier with practice, and soon your raiders will just expect raids to go faster, and they'll be more attentive. Have fun, but don't ignore repeated big mistakes. They will slow you down. And finally, there's no magic here, just focus and hard work, but it is attainable. Now, this part isn't for every guild, but it's definitely part of what makes Fusion so fast at moving through dungeons, so I figured I should mention it. See, we don't really use raid symbols, or CC targets, and we don't have a main assist. Having our kill order be, target the nearest non-CC'd mob and unload on it, speeds things up considerably as long as your healers don't run out of mana. Debuffs tend to work out too, since your caster clump usually gets on the same mob when they just do target nearest, and so does your melee clump. Sometimes when it's a hard pull, we will use raid symbols, but they're for the tank convenience more than anything else. If you still like raid symbols and kill orders, check out the magic marker mod. It helps a lot with marking. I hope this movie was helpful. The StratFu site has a section dedicated to this topic, including top 10 tips, links to raid leading add-ons, more tips than were in this movie, and links to the actual video of the speedrun, both normal speed and 3 times sped up. It also has boss strategies and videos, leadership articles, class guides, and more.